Can you actually set up a 12 by 12 Kodiak Canvas tent with the vestibule by yourself? Yes. Today in part 1, I'm going to walk you through a full solo setup of the main cabin, how much space this thing actually takes, and the small details that can make or break your setup. If you're looking for the vestibule solo setup, that's part 2, link below. I've also got chapter markers if you want to jump around. Let's get the main body of the tent set up. Hi, sorry to interrupt. This was an absolute bear to film, edit, and put into production for you guys. As I said before, this is a two-part series. Right now you're watching part 1, the cabin tent setup. You might hear me talk a little bit about the vestibule poles. You might see some of the vestibule poles on the ground. We labeled those quite extensively in part 2, which you'll find down below in the description. As for this episode, just setting up the main body of the cabin, we did not label any of the poles. It's super simple, it's straightforward. If you've ever set up a regular tent before, this isn't any harder, it's just bigger. Your tent should come with the same components mine did. There should be 28 ground stakes, there should be 2 ridgepole uprights, there should be 1 horizontal ridgepole that goes across the top of the tent, there should be 8 48-inch poles that go around the perimeter, and then there's 4 little taller poles. They're 62 inches. They go just off center on the front side and just off center of the back side of the cabin tent. And then there's 1 center pole that goes in the middle of the tent. If you're experiencing a lot of snow load, you can put that center support pole inside the tent. For the vestibule, I'll go through all those poles in nauseating detail in part 2. So again, sorry to interrupt. We'll just jump back into the video. We're going to lay out and stake out a ground tarp for the main tent body. I just lay out a blue tarp. Some people are for this, some people aren't. If you get caught in a rainstorm and the rain hits your porch, it'll slide underneath your tent, all that water, and it will get water under your tent. This has a nice plastic bottom to it, so I haven't had any problems yet. Another thing that you can do too is you can also dig a gutter around the side of your tent. That's something people will do, but we're not talking about that today. We're talking about setting up the vestibule. But in order for the vestibule to be set up, I have to have the main body tent set up. So I'm just gonna put 4 stakes in this tent, and then we're gonna move on to putting up the tent body. Setting up the main tent body is going to be our first step. Before we fully erect the tent body, we have to attach the vestibule to the tent body. Now, right now I have my vestibule over there, and I have my tent body stuff over here. The reason why I like to keep my poles separate when I'm setting it up, when I'm tearing it down, because if I decide to go camping, I want to pack a little lighter. I don't want to take the vestibule with me. I have just the cabin tent, and now I'm missing a pole because I accidentally put one of the poles for the cabin tent with the vestibule. So I just always try to make sure that I keep those separate, so I make sure all the items get back into their proper bags. When I roll my tent up, I roll it up in a fashion so that the next time I go to put it out, when I'm putting it down on the tarp, I'm setting it up to where the door is towards me. That way when I roll this out, I'm going to be rolling the back side of the tent out. I like to have this area up here. This is my front porch. I'll put wood here, I'll have a chair here, I'll sit and I'll take my shoes off. If you take care of your canvas tent, it will last you a lifetime. It's $1,000 investment. Take care of it like $1,000 investment. Huh, Grizzly? You want to make sure that all your windows are closed. When I go to put the tent away, I make sure all my windows are closed and all my doors are closed. The reason is, when we go to set this up, if you have the doors loose and you tighten all your poles and tighten everything, when you go to close your windows later, you might not be able to close your windows and your doors later because everything's too tight. But if you have everything closed, when you set the tent up and you tighten everything down, the windows and the doors will work exactly how they're supposed to. All right, we've got the body of the tent laid out on the ground. All right. Once I get the main body staked out, we'll move on to the next step. Setting up the main body of the tent is super simple. A single person can do it. There's no worries here. I'm getting ready to put this last corner in on the tent body, and I wanted to share something with you. It's a mistake I've made. When you only do this once or twice a year, you might grab this D-ring right here. This is not the one you're looking. This is the roof. Well, this is where a pole goes in. You don't want just the D-ring. You want the D-ring that has the pin. That's what you want to make sure that you're staking down, because as we put the poles in, the pole will come up through here and up through the top here. Now that I have the tent body staked down, we are going to zip the roof of the vestibule to the tent body. I have a bag of stakes in here. The stakes for the vestibule stay with the vestibule. The stakes with the body of the tent stay with the body of the tent. Very important. There's two pieces of fabric that come with your vestibule. There's the darker green, and then there's this white is your roof. We are going to be zipping this white to the front door of the tent body. This is the sides. These are the walls of the vestibule of the awning. We will come back to that later. Okay, there's a big long zipper, and there's Velcro. I haven't done it to everything yet, but I'm working on it. A lot of these places where there's Velcro, I've bought the opposite of the Velcro, this being the hook side versus the velvet. I try to not leave Velcro exposed, because when you're out in the desert, that Velcro will grab onto foxtails and all sorts of things. I went over to Home Depot, bought some Velcro, and I've just taken the opposite side of the Velcro and I've put it on here just to protect it. I take this off when I put the tent together, and then just before I get done and I put the tent away, I put this Velcro back on there. You can pick it up at Home Depot. You can get it at Amazon. There's links down below in the description. We're going to take this long zipper, and this is the front door of the tent. We're going to connect that right there, and they give you this really long cord, which is kind of nice. And we're going to zip this up and over the ridge. This is the ridge. This is where our ridge pole is going to be going in. Our front ridge pole. It goes in through this, comes in through here, goes in through there, and then goes to the ridge pole. And that's why we're doing all of this now, before it gets to be 6 feet in the air and we can't reach it. As you can hopefully see here, we have zipped the roof of the vestibule to the front roof and ridge line of the cabin tent. For this next part, we will need to wake up the dog from his nap. These are poles for the tent body. Sorry, Grizzly. This is one of our ridge uprights. I'm going to put it on its... I like to go on the lowest setting. I don't like to have them all the way extended because I don't want it to be super tight. We will get it tight later on. I've taken a Sharpie and I've made this line right here. The reason is so I know where the pin is going to drop. It's kind of a little cheat that I did. When I get up camping, I want to set up my tent as fast as possible, and then I want to go play. We've got both of our ridge uprights. This here, this long one, this 1 inch thick long one. This is our ridge pole. I am at the back side of the tent. I'm going to go through that nylon black loop. I'm going to feed this across the ridge line, the roof of the main body of the tent, to the other side. I don't like to step on my tent with boots. If you have a pair of Crocs, if you have a pair of sandals, if it's wintertime, well, you might be stepping on the roof in the wintertime, or you can bunch this fabric up to where you're just stepping on the front porch. Okay, got our ridge pole through the black nylon,
And through the white, I have both of my ridge upright poles. They're facing the same direction because I'm going to tilt this thing up by myself. I'm 6 feet tall. I don't want to disclose how much I weigh. It'll make me sad. Now, this is a very critical part. This pole goes on the underside of the vestibule roof, and it comes up through this socked end. So we're going to feed it through that socked end, just like so. It is tight. Then the black nylon goes in between those two pins, and then that gets hooked on that. Make sure not to pinch any of your canvas in there. I have this pole laying out that way. We're going to come through here, through the nylon. We're going to capture that black nylon in between those pins, and now we're going to stand this up. Okay, can you see that? If you're doing this in any kind of wind, good luck doing it by yourself. This pole with the T at the top, this goes inside. This goes on the bottom here. Okay, I have 8 of the shorter poles. I have 3 of the longer poles. These ones go up front by the front door of the tent. These poles right here are the tent body poles, the main cabin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I thought I had a pole over here. I do. Maybe that does go with the awning. We will check back. However, I want to give this thing a little bit more structure, so I am going to grab 4 of these shorter poles. We're going to go 1 on each corner. We have our rope there. Now mind you, just the base of the cabin is 12 feet by 12 feet. Once I put out the guidelines, this thing's going to go from 12 foot by 12 foot to probably more like 18 feet, maybe even 20 feet. You need to have a really big area to set this tent up. I've got my poles, I've got my stakes ready. We are going to start setting this up. Through the side, through that D-ring. There's a pin down here that goes in the bottom of the pole. Through the side of the Velcro, through the top, come up, capture that. Now you've got a little bit of tension on that. I like to come out to the corner. I come out first and I put my tent stake 4 feet at a minimum, and I've got it going in the ground at an angle here. It's not straight up and down, it's not towards the tent, it's away from the tent. Okay, that's right there. Now I'm going to take my rope that I put away nice and neat. When I put the tent away, I put everything away nice and neat. Hook goes that way. Lark's head right here. Lark's head. Velcro loop on the side of the tent. Pull goes through the Velcro loop, through the D-ring in the roof. Pin goes in the bottom of the pole. Lark's head goes over the top, capturing the roof D-ring and the pole. Come down, lasso the ground stake, come up, apply tension. You can kind of start to see that the tent is starting to take shape. Okay, we're gonna come over here. It's looking a little sloppy, but it is starting to look like a tent. I'm gonna come over here. There's the corner of the tent. I'm going to be coming out diagonally from the corner at least 4 feet. Go through the Velcro loop, capture the D-ring, put the pin in the bottom of the pole on the corner, loop, lark's head, down, capture the ground stake, come back up, apply tension. Perfect. You can see the tent is up on all 4 corners. We're going to come under here. I'm inside the vestibule. Now remember, we have this on the shortest setting for a reason. Canvas will rip if you don't respect it. We got the pin in the bottom of the pole. Good, our nylon is still captured between those 2 pins. Again, we are on our most compact setting. This is starting to look like a tent. Once we put up the skeleton of the vestibule, this will be the vestibule roof. Let's move on to the next step.